we are going to go through why I won't buy this style of boat again today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dale, and I've been boating for 20 years. This channel is about going through boats and buying boats and selling boats and all the kind of things, and hopefully you like it. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. All right, so this was my second boat. If you saw the first video, maybe not, go back, watch it. You know, fast forward through it if you need to. But that was an OMC Cobra Aerosport. The OMC Cobra was the lower unit or the stern drive and the engine, right? And it was an Aerosport Sunbird, off-brand, right? So that boat was a complete nightmare. Engine hydrolocked, frozen up. Had to replace the engine. Lower unit had to replace 3 times. I learned a lot from it. So this is my second boat here. It's a 27-foot Sundancer SE. Sorry. The SE stands for Special Edition because supposedly it was a 7'5" beam, distance across the boat, compared to the normal, which I believe was 8 or 8.5. So anyways, so let's talk about this whole BMW X5 hauling a 6,500 pound dry boat, probably 75 with gas and whatnot. So I kept my boat at a storage yard, roughly, I would say, half a mile from the launch. That being said, this is not something I recommend, right? I was so desperate to get on the water, and whenever you're desperate to get on the water, things will go wrong, right? So I would tow it and launch it with this, and I'd only have to go that far. I didn't have too much problems launching it because it's a 300 horsepower V8 X5 BMW X5 with a tow capacity of, I think it's 3,000 pounds. It shouldn't have been towing that, but you know, and it was all-wheel drive. So it wasn't like I was slipping at the dock when I was coming out. And the dock and the launch was also pretty. But I would not recommend this. Go get yourself a 3/4 ton. If you're going to launch this size boat, get a 3/4 ton. Get, the right size vehicle with the right weight and the right length. For you, some of you in Florida, I recommend you having a 4-wheel drive, because a 4-wheel drive diesel, because I've seen some of your boat launch videos and it's a pretty scary sight how steep the ramp is and how slippery they are. And so I've seen the trucks that go in, and having a 2-wheel drive, if you get back on that slimy stuff, you're just going to slide. All right. So it was a single stern drive here. It's a Bravo 3 stern drive. You can see here, and it had the trim tabs, right? I renamed it Positive Energy, and I'll show you why. Port of Dreams come true is kind of my, it was kind of a funny thing. Truly, if I would have done this as Port of Afton, Minnesota, like I should have, it would have been registered with the Coast Guard, and I wouldn't have to pay the state tax on it. All right, so there's the bimini cover, little door, got your tie downs. Here's the lower unit, right? You can see this thing wasn't painted. There's also no bottom paint on it. I should have done that, but I thought there was some kind of magic way that it has to be done. No. You can bottom paint any boat as long as you support it correctly, and all you have to do is ask the marina or storage place to put it up on jack stands. You might be able to see some in the background, and then pull the trailer out, move the jack stands, and then put it back down the trailer once it dries. I saw a funny video where they put it on the trailer before they let it dry, and it got stuck to the trailer, and In Too Deep had to jack up the boat just to get it off there. But anyways, back to this. My anodes should have been replaced. This whole paint should have been replaced. I paid $11,500 for the boat. I ended up having the gimbal bearing replaced. And now, that being said, what the marina charges to replace a gimbal bearing and how difficult it is, now that I look at it, no, I'm going to replace the gimbal bearing every year, possibly. I know that's a little overkill, but I don't believe there is overkill in boating. So here's the inside storage. Inside with the full, I guess, VIP suite. There's one with the table, too. You can see the bathroom, the microwave, the stove. Just give you, there's the table, right? Here's the engine. This is an impressive engine. This is a 7.4. And we're going to get to why I'm not going to buy this style of boat again, right? I did like the horsepower. I am now more of a Volvo Penta guy than a Mercruiser, right? There's a reason why there's a whole bunch of Mercruiser parts out there. It's because they break. But anyways, multi-port injected. So this is a Vortec, which is strange because I thought in 1996 was the year that they switched over to the Vortex, which you get 10 to 20 more horsepower, maybe 30 with a Vortec. And maybe the boat was a 96, but it didn't have the walk-through, as we'll go through. But it was a clean engine. You can see the bilge. You can see everything. I did have to replace this alternator. Very clean boat, though. Yeah, there's your wet tank. Your fuel tank is up there. More water lines. Actually, that I don't know what that actually is. It's okay. So yeah, there's the head, right? Which is a wet head shower. You know, you pull this out and you shower with it. Come on, no, we don't need to see video. More video. There she is from the outside. You can see it needed bottom paint. It came with the Shorelander trailer. One thing I didn't like was this notch here for this hook assembly. This should have been pushed up further, and maybe I'm wrong. Call me out if I am. But this was a pain in the ass to get that notch over that roller, right? That part, you know, if I would have had the boat longer, whatnot. But you can see it needed bottom paint. There's the IO. There's a bimini up. It was a nice little boat. And here's some of those stands in the background, right? Nice interior. Don't know why this carpet wasn't made for this boat, because here's where the table hole was, and then here's another hole. It's kind of weird. It only had 300 hours on it. I bought it from an auction site, right? And so here's the trick to it, right? Is if you look for diamonds in the rough, you can find them. So here it is at the auction site, right? And that was the car that I had to at the moment, so you can understand the size of it, right? So I went and checked it out, and right here. So if you look right here, we've got the rehab on here, right? And so they put this boat online, and it said rehab. And I don't know if people just mentally thought that the boat needed to be rehabbed. Well, I went and drove and checked it out, right? And that boat was in 300 hours, clean bilge, you know, everything like that. All I had to do is have that sticker removed, which I was going to do anyways because I didn't like the palm tree or the rehab thing. And that boat ran great. The only thing I needed to do was replace the gimbal bearing and the sticker and the alternator, right? It was a good boat. The problem that I have with this style boat is there is no bow thruster. If you don't know what a bow thruster is a little hole right through here with a little motor. And all you have to do is, when you're at a dock, is get the boat over or press the bow thruster and it'll move, right? And so if I get back here, one, it has a single IO or stern drive, right? Trying to maneuver this size boat against a current is crazy difficult with only no bow thruster and a single. If you have a dual, you can cavitate them. The dual prop did work well. It did do 45 miles per hour. But having dual stern drives, dual shaft drive, V drives, whatever you want to call it, right? Dual outboards even, right? Anytime you can have two motors and you can put one in forward and one in reverse, you can move sideways even against a current. You might have to speed up one motor. It also doesn't have a transmission. It's not like a shaft drive where you can shift it in and out of forward and reverse. This, you have to literally go to neutral, which takes time for those gears to stop, and then clunk, because it's a dog clutch, into drive or reverse or whatever. And that's what you're constantly doing. And so for me, yeah, maybe you can get a deal on one of these. They're $6,000. We'll do a Facebook video of currently what's out there in Minnesota, what I would look for, whatnot. But a smaller boat, no problem, right? Because you can have someone up on the front bow, jump off and tie that bow down, and you can get the stern over by, using a single IO, single stern drive, single outboard, right? But this size boat in a river, it's probably, I believe, one of the most difficult things to dock. I mean, there's probably worst case scenarios and whatnot, but any older boat is, you're going to have issues docking and whatnot, depending on wind and current, with no bow thruster and also one IO. So that's the reason why I wouldn't buy this style boat again. I'm not planning on anyways. I'm buying a runabout, smaller, that can fit in a garage and maintain for the next 4 years until I can move to Miami and live aboard 50 or 70 foot one with diesel cat MCUs, any of those. So that's the plan currently, but just wanted to do a second vote video. We'll also do what's currently on the Facebook out there, what I look for now that more about the Volvo Penta motors. So yeah, subscribe, like, I'll keep on producing those. And this week, Thursday, I will be going out to Marine Max and doing shorts and videos there for you guys. I want to see what they have for inventory. I'm obviously going to buy something off Facebook because I can get something that maybe the owner doesn't know what's wrong with it, just won't start, and it could be a starter, right? You can get a $6,000 boat for $3,000 if you get that kind of deal, which this is what I did. You know, I got this for $11,500, put $1,500 into it, sold it for $14,000. It was a good boat. I only put 100 hours on it. So you can find those deals. You have to know what you're looking for. Don't buy an OC Cobra motor or stern drive because they went bankrupt and Evinrude doesn't replace their parts anymore. So yeah, that's our video on this. We'll keep on keeping you updated. Hope you guys like the Bigfoot shorts on boatings, and we'll keep this channel going.